And Jordan is down. Smith and Stoklos will have the ball to start it off. They'll be on the north side or the bad side. Adam Johnson and Pat Powers, a team that has been doing very well lately. They played in their first tournament ever last year in Seattle when Timmons decided to play with Mike Dodd. Remember, Timmons was playing with Johnson. Smith serves it up. And here we go. Pat Powers wearing red. Here he comes. And he might be the only player on the beach that is bigger and taller and can jump over Randy Stoklos.
Well, a lot of players call out over Randy, and they mean just loop it over him. But earlier in the finals in the winner's bracket, Adam Johnson said Pat over him, and Pat powered it straight down over the top of Randy Stoklos. They're a good combination as a team. They could look at Adam Johnson out of USC, 6'3", 185 pounds, and he's been working very hard on his beach game. Third
at the USA Championships last year with Steve Timmons, so he's really a comer. And inside the block goes St. John Smith. Smith, who will be 34 in May. And his partner Stoklos, sitting on 99. He had one with Jim Menges. Powers looping long. So Pat Powers dinks one in. Pat played in Yugoslavia this past winter. He's a tremendous all-around volleyball player, a great hitter blocker. 84 Olympic gold medal. 1986, he was voted the best spiker in the world. Won 6 of those tournaments with John Stevenson that one fabulous summer when he won $110,000. Powers at the net, Johnson digging behind. And inside the block touches Randy Stoklos. So there's Pat wearing the sunglasses, as is Stoklos. Smith to serve. He's taking his off. And the lob is out of bounds. Now, if we take a close look at Adam Johnson, he's wearing something very unusual for a beach volleyball player. He's wearing something called foot digs, brightly colored little booty socks that are made by a sponsor. We can say it's Nike. And they're supposed to give him a little lift, keep the sand out, and keep your feet from burning. So he's going to play with those. Great serve, and it's out of bounds. And Adam told me, he said, I'm not just wearing them because Nike sponsors me. I'm wearing them because once I try them, it gives me a little lift. I don't sink into the sand. Do you think that's true?
I've never worn them, but I got a pair for you today. I'm going to take them home and try them out. But, you know, they're a real innovation. Nothing's like this has ever been brought to the beach before.
The people here that sponsor Adam gave a free pair to all the players. And I think when it's hot, people will be wearing those out in the hot sand. Really has never been a... Oh, there's an ace by Johnson. And that is how Johnson and Powers won the winner's bracket 15-8. Some really tough serving.
This jump serve cross court right into the wind. Look at this ball just dive over the net and away from St. John Smith.
Johnson born January 31st, 1965, so he just turned 26, and he is one of the bright young stars along with Kent Steffes. And serving hard into the wind. Keep in mind, Powers and Johnson on the good side. Ball spiked out of bounds. And just as Hovland and Steffes did in the semifinal, points being racked up against Smith and Stoklos early. Tell you, when you're the loser's bracket team, you're coming back with one win. You have to get off to a good start. Smith and Stoklos have not. 3-0. As Johnson sets to put the ball in play, and we have a 22nd, I believe, 22nd timeout to Smith Stoklos. So Adam Johnson and Pat Powers. How did Smith Stoklos reach the final? An easy win to open it up. Leduff and Faust 16-14. A squeaker. Mirren, Friedrichsen, Clark, and Wirtz, who placed 5th, did very well. Lost to Johnson and Powers, and then squeezed by Hovland and Steffes. For Johnson and Powers, they have been unbelievable. No team has scored double figures today. So Johnson and Powers, who took an initial 5th last year at Seattle. If you remember back to Hawaii, Johnson played with Leif Hansen. They did very poorly, and Johnson was on the phone to Pat Powers the next day.
In Yugoslavia. I think Pat was back,
Pat was back by then.
But his hand was in a cast, and he was just coming out of that and getting ready to play. And they've got the big blocker and imposing player in Pat Powers and Adam Johnson to run around, play defense, pass the ball, and jump serve. But Adam also has the hitting ability to side out against the stronger teams.
Stoklos serving, his team trailing. The conventional wisdom is to serve Johnson as much as possible. Johnson bombs it down the line. So Adam Johnson out of Southern Cal. He was the 1986 Indoor Player of the Year in collegiate volleyball under Bob Yoder. And what a tremendous player he was. He never won an NCAA championship, but he went to the finals 3 out of 4 years. Powers will serve, so 2 Trojans going against 2 Bruins. You got to love that. Both St. John and Randy from UCLA, and Powers stuffs it right off Smith.
That's Pat Powers' game. Nobody, even Randy Stoklos, gets over the net as far as Pat Powers. When he's strong and in shape and he's rounding into form now, how would you like to have to hit against that peepers, as we call him, getting his head over the net?
He did it to the Soviets. He did it to the Cubans, and now he's doing it on the beach. See some pretty good finishes for Powers and Johnson this year. Initially, they got a 5th, then they got a 9th, then they got a 3rd, last week a 4th. And this week going for the gold and going for their first open win tournament. And we're going to take time out. So a surprise brewing here, 5-0 early as Johnson and Powers have control. The AVP Pro Tour continuing, the Miller Lite Santa Barbara Open this weekend. I'm Chris Marlowe along with my pal Paul Sunderland. We're in final action, and right now Adam Johnson and Pat Powers are laying it on Smith and Stoklos. However, we've switched sides. Smith and Stoklos have gone to the good side. The wind is very, very powerful. You see the flags flapping in the breeze, and it is a powerful breeze now. How fast would you say that wind is going, Paul?
It's got to be 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind. And if Pat Powers and Adam Johnson can serve tough, and as good as Pat looks blocking, they could blow this game wide open. It depends if they're able to get at least a couple on the bad side before the next side change.
Good serve, and the ball blowing away from Smith, and he keeps it in play. Chance for a point. Everybody fell down, and Johnson booms another one. So Adam Johnson coming on.
And Pat Powers, not known as a great server. He usually just likes to get the ball in play and then come to the net and be a blocker. But this time, very cagey serve. Gets St. John Smith, Randy Stoklos in trouble. And then Pat Powers setting the ball pretty well. This blows on the net, and AJ just unloads.
Powers is 6'6", about 200 pounds, and the pressure now on St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Not playing well here at the outset.
And no one.
And a little dink shot, the peeper will eat it up. He can crank it. But that time, finesse over the top, 7-0. Powers and Johnson laying it on Smith and Stoklos.
Really some communication between St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Randy yelling loud and early that serve was out. St. John ignoring the call, back on the line, past the ball, and from the get-go, that side-out attempt was in trouble.
Smith and Stoklos have played together for 10 years. Powers and Johnson, this is their 5th tournament. Make that 6th tournament, one last year. Smith blocked and down. Peeper way over the net. You can see why Doug Beal liked him in the lineup in '84.
2 stuffs early for Pat Powers, and this is what makes them good. Adam Johnson playing defense and Pat Powers just roaming and controlling.
We have the second 20-second timeout, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it is a 20-second. We're going to take a quick timeout. Powers and Johnson, 8. Smith and Stoklos, nothing.